welcome everyone to the Metavanagia Heritage Park, and my name is Patricia Dunnis. I'm the General Manager. So I'm really happy to have everyone here today. We have some fun things lined up that I think will be of interest. I would hope that everybody would think of when you're looking for things to do, something unique, something fun, something that you have never tried before. I would like you to think about Metavanagia, because this is where we do all kinds of fun activities. So what we're going to show you today is how to make some traditional bannock bread, and we call it luskinigan. So if we go over here, you're going to see where we have a nice fire all set up, and we're have some tea on the fire right now, heating up so that our guests, that when they arrive here, they can sample some of our traditional Teaberry tea. This is Jan.
Hi guys.
So,
Audience, can you hear her well?
okay, that's great. What I'd like to, what we're going to do, and we'll make some luskinigan, which is called luskinigan, and we're going to also make some traditional moose meat meatballs. So if we can come over here, Jan is going to actually show us an example of how we do that.
Hey Patricia,
Yeah.
I don't think we can hear you very well.
Okay, let's try that. So we're going to walk over here, and we're going to start making some delicious meatballs. And so Jan, maybe you want to
Sure.
take this away?
I'm going to stick on some gloves.
Do you want to maybe speak a little louder so that all our fans can hear us?
I don't generally raise my voice very much. I'm a very shy and not a very talkative person. That's a lie.
Total lie.
Total lie. Okay.
She's a cook, and we all know cooks are not shy or quiet. But I'm really happy to have you here today, Jan.
Excellent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a few of the things that a few of the ingredients that we have. Of course, we've got some ground moose here, and that's the very best. You gotta love moose meat. I eat a lot of it, and since I've started eating it, I have leaned up tremendously. A couple of eggs. And of course, tiny eggshell went in. Can't have the eggshell in the meatballs, although some people like them crunchy. Got some breadcrumbs. And some whole grain wild rice. That's the best.
Yes.
And Tisha was in early this morning chopping up the sage.
Yes.
Probably took her about 3 hours.
I care about our guests. I want to make sure they get the best.
We get that all in, and then the easiest thing is just nice and get it mixed and keep it nice and light and fluffy. So this is ready to go, and now we just have to get the pan nice and warm.
Okay, do you want me to
Yep, just stick it right on top of any flat spot you can find.
Okay. So today we got the moose meat from one of our community members who was generous enough to share it with us so that we could prepare these delicious meatballs. And the recipe itself was, we had a really nice chef from Toronto, Chef David Wolfman, and he was amazing. He came up here and helped us really develop an Indigenous cuisine menu. So Jan got to work with him in the kitchen, and we've kind of incorporated and made our own variation of these meatballs so that we can offer them to our guests when we do this experience package. So Jan makes everything look so easy, Everything he cooks is absolutely delicious. And look at that, so easy. So when our guests come here to Mittabanagia and they book an experience package, this is the type of stuff that we can do. Mind you, we usually have the meatballs already made, but I mean, if our guests want to participate, we have them actually making the Luskinigan bread themselves. We talk them through it, and then we show them how it's done.
Okay. I have enough for initial cooking.
Okay.
Alrighty.
So, what do you want to do now, Jen?
I think it's time to, we'll get these cooking off. I'm going to set up the fire a bit so that I can have the meatballs cooking off to the side, but I think it's also time for you to make up some bread.
Okay.
I'll go play with fire.
All right, so we're going to get a start on making the Luskinigan. And so we have a couple of plates set up here, and I'm just going to move them aside so that when our guests are out here and they're trying out their sampling of an Indigenous meal, they can sit here and look over the river and really enjoy this beautiful landscape. So I have everything here for the Luskinigan. So it's basically having flour and some baking powder and a little bit of water. And this is the fun part. I get to talk the guests through making the Luskinigan. So I always kind of kid around with them, and I tell them, you know, the reason why they're making the bread is because if the bread doesn't turn out, it's not going to be my fault, right? I think that's fair. So what we're going to do is create a little well. It's already pre-mixed with your flour, baking powder, and salt, and we're going to pour water into the well. And what I'm going to do is slowly stir it in and get it all nice and gooey and sticking together. There we go. And we're going to add a little bit more water to that. Very easy, very simple. Now there's lots of different ways of preparing, of actually cooking the Luskinigan. Some people like to put it in a frying pan and they'll fry it either over the fire or on the stove at home in your own kitchen. Some other people who would like to go camping like to take the dough and wrap it around a stick, and they hold it up over the fire, and the bread will cook right there on the stick over the fire. Kind of like roasting marshmallows. But for us here at Mittabanagia, we like to make our bread a little more different. So the recipe itself, the way it was done, the preparation of how we make it, was first introduced by my grandfather, Joseph Augustine. And he showed his family how to make the Luskinigan in some hot sand. And so it was my uncle, Howard, that was, we were hanging around one day looking for things to do, and then we were like, let's make some bread. And I was like, how are you going to do that? And he said, look, down in this hot sand, and it was incredible. I was like, this is too easy. I said, I bet there's other people that would love to do this. I mean, this is incredible. So now I have the dough. Look at this. This is perfect consistency right there. And so it looks very sticky. You're like, how is she going to hold that bread and put that in the sand? Well, I have extra flour here to help me dust the outside of it. And that allows me to pick up the bread and place it into the hot sand. So, oh, looks like Jan's way ahead of me. Oh, wow. Have we worked together? Yes, we have. So, what I'm going to do is pick up this bread. Oh, my gosh. Okay, I think I better give it a little bit more work here.
It's okay.
Yeah, no, the fire's doing great. The bread. So what happens, what Jan has done with the fire is he prepared a nice big fire over sand that we had gathered from the shores down by the Oxbow. And so what we do is we then bring that sand up here and we build a fire on top of it, and it has to be a really hot fire so that we can get it super hot. Like the sand is so hot that you can't even put your hand near it. That's how hot it is. And so I am going to just carry this over and give it a little bit more dusting. And you will follow me. I'll show you how this is done. Thank you, Jan. So,
a little bit more, eh?
I want to get the bread as kind of like a pancake. And I'm going to just, it's a really big piece of dough here, so I don't need all of that. All right. Are we ready to go, Jen?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, just a little more flour. All right, you're thinking, oh my gosh, what is she doing? You know what? Of course this has to happen on live feed. Do I make bread often? I actually do, but we'll see how this is. Okay, let me just, woo, that is hot.
I told you I had it fixed.
Yep, that's
We had a wet
awesome.
night last night.
Wow.
We were worried about the temperature here.
All right,
So.
Jen, do your thing. Cover that up.
And Ooh, burn it, burn it.
That is hot, hot, hot sand. You would not want to put your foot on that. If you're wearing sandals, do not get your sandal toes near that hot sand. So Jan, it needs to be covered a little bit more. You can see where we have a little bit of the loose skin. So what we're doing here now is Jan's going to take the embers and we're going to put it in close to where the Luskinigan is. And the really cool thing about this...
I have some comments, Tisha.
Oh, sure.
Patricia.
Please, ask away.
So, someone from Tim, I see Tim Ridout. I see that he says it looks so yummy.
It's incredible, Tim. You need to come to Metabonagia and try this out with us.
And then I'm seeing another comment. Hello from Milwaukee. Thanks for having this presentation.
I just hope my bread turns out, and you know, I don't want to embarrass myself in front of all of you guys, but I have to say, it is pretty foolproof.
Fish, if I could just say one thing,
Yes.
is to stop having fun. This is work.
Oh.
If I could just say that to you.
Yes, that could be our tagline for here working at Metabonagia. Stop having fun, this is work. So if you want to take a little peek over here, April, did you get to see our Teaberry Tea? So the Teaberry Teas is basically, it's winter greens, and it has a very nice aroma, like a mint aroma. And when we steep it in water, just like tea, we then, it draws out all that nice minty flavor. So we're able to have this along with our Luskinigan, and over there you can see the meatballs are going on the hot pan, and they're going to be super delicious. Look at that. Is everybody's mouth just watering right now? Because these meatballs are incredible.
If anybody's wondering, I'm burning my face off.
Yeah. I think it was like, what, 4 degrees this morning?
It was so cold, so I really attacked this fire with a lot of wood, a lot of hardwood. Really got the temperature up high. Look at that.
Can I show you guys one other thing while we're waiting for the bread to cook? And I just want to take you over to one of our teepees, because this summer we had people booking our teepees, staying overnight, being very comfy and comfortable, and then in the morning they would have this experience package. So it's 2 different packages, but a lot of people have been combining them for an overnight experience. So if you follow me, actually I might just grab the camera and I'll walk it over. So there we go. So these are the beautiful campgrounds of Metabonagia Heritage Park, and we're going to have some more teepees. These are smaller ones, but the bigger ones are going to be much larger. And so we're trying to aim for the goal of a glamping experience. So let's see. So here's our teepee. We were in here just a while ago. That's why you see the door kind of moved around. And so what we do is pull that door aside. And of course, when you look out, come outside the door from your teepee in the morning, you can see this beautiful view. And we just look around. It's absolutely gorgeous. And let's go inside. So, I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. We do have mosquitoes in the summertime, and you know, mosquitoes are just everywhere. So we do have this very nice mesh netting that goes over the bed to make it a lot more comfortable experience when you're sleeping. And beautiful blankets on there. Yes, it is a real bed, if you're asking. People get to have a very comfortable night's sleep. We have some electricity in here. We also have a bed that turns into a couch. So here you can see our camp cot, and it turns into a couch to make everything very, very comfortable. So we have a little table, benches, and everything like that. So let's head out. And there we go. So I'm going to give this back to April. There we go. So follow me, everyone. We'll go back to the fire and show you where we're at with the meatballs and the mosquito. So April's going to take in a really nice view of our walk to the fire. So unless you want to see the back of my head.
So we're saying we have comments and from Alyssa, and she's saying thanks for sharing. I'm definitely adding this on my list of places to visit.
Oh, that's great. You know what? We'll all be here, and you get to meet the fantastic staff here at the Mittavanaga Heritage Park. And you know what? You'll likely meet some community members who love to come over and say hello to guests that arrive to Mittavanaga, because everybody here is so hospitable, and they just want to get to know each other. And one of those people is my uncle. So I'll also warn people that my uncle likes to come and chatter and tell all kinds of stories, which is great. But how are we doing here, Ted?
Pretty good. It's, I'm just steaming it a little bit.
Oh, yummy.
So Patricia, I'm seeing that we have grade 7s and 8 students watching from Jacques River.
Yay! Welcome, guys. I'm so glad to have you guys here today. You know, that's one thing we really missed this year, is not having our students visit us at the Mittavanaga Heritage Park. I mean, we get school groups of 50 to 100 kids in a day, and we didn't get that this year, so we really miss you guys. So how's our tea making out?
That looks like it's probably ready to go.
Oh, gosh. This is great.
Patricia, can you share how important that connection is to Mi'kmaq in the past and the present?
Okay, so the Heritage Park, and I know I didn't really explain this in the beginning, but the Heritage Park, we are the custodians of 2 National Historic Sites here in Mittavanaga. And right across the river from us is one of those sites. It's called the Oxbow National Historic Site. And the other one is called the Augustine Mound Burial Site, which is down further. So when people come here, we're able to really connect them with the past, because we have some amazing artifacts in the museum itself, and we have some wonderful videos and interactive computers that show you the way of life. And a lot of this evidence was based on the artifacts that were uncovered by the archaeologists almost over 40 years ago now. But right now, we have some amazing artifacts up at the park. People are able to see these artifacts that date back over 3,000 years. And today, coming face to face with those artifacts makes all of our community members, all of the Mi'kmaq people in Atlantic Canada, have a closer connection to our ancestors. And it just is a testimony of their resilience and their pride of their culture and their traditions. So how are we doing? Excellent. You know, we had lots of students do this experience package. We had the kids making bread and sampling some wild game, having some tea. So we really miss you guys. This is a really nice warm fire. Look at that wonderful tea. When you smell the tea, it's so minty and delicious. Sometimes we add a sprig of cedar to it, And the cedar is one of our traditional medicines. And what it does is, because we only use it in moderation, we have it so that it helps cleanse your palate. So when you're having your tea, which is loaded with vitamins already, and then a little bit of cedar, it just helps give you that very refreshing feeling. And look at that hamburger. Wow. That is incredible. You guys should smell this. Oh my gosh, the sage, the wild grass, the onions that are in there, like everything is super delicious. And how's our bread doing, Jan?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's pretty close.
If you can take a look at that, you can see the bread is rising and the sand is rolling down and just kind of rolling off the bread. Look at that. I could see a little bit peeking out over on this side. Excellent. Look at that. You know what? I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but I think I did a pretty good job making the bread. But the true test is when we dig it out of the sand and crack it open, so you can see the delicious bread.
Just a little bit.
So one of the things we like to do also when people stay in our teepees overnight is the staff will come down and we'll put on a fire and we'll sit around the campfire and tell some stories. I mean, there's nothing better than making a connection and learning more about the culture when you talk to community members. That's why it's always nice to have our elders come visit and say hello to our guests that arrive here. Okay. I'm not sure how much time has passed. We forgot to bring a timer for our bread. So normally the bread would take about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. But we're not going to wait that long. No. So I think the meatballs are just about done.
Just there, yeah.
The tea is all
Just
ready.
sitting there, yeah.
So because I didn't bring my fire gloves down, and I apologize for that, we're not trying to promote a unsafe experience here. I just really did forget my fire gloves up at the park. So I'll use this little bit of tin foil, and I'm going to grab the tea, because it is hot, and we're going to bring it over here and pour some tea. And here you go. Here's the tea. It is so minty. If only you guys could smell this rather than just see this. Sometimes we take a little cranberry, toss it in there with the tea. It's just so incredible, the flavor. And I'm just going to scoop out a few of these teaberry leaves and put them in the tea itself so you guys can see that. There we go. Excellent. Look at that, guys.
So I have another comment from
Yes.
Sylvester. It says, grandmother's grandmother was Mi'kmaq medicine woman in Limerick Island. Thank you for sharing.
Wow, that is incredible. Oh, yummy. Very, very yummy. Oh, look at this. How did you bring the moose meat right over here, Jan?
Now, a few of them fell apart. Can't be judged.
You know what? It doesn't take away from the deliciousness of it. So we'll put a few here on the plate. Now, you guys are going to be surprised when I show you this next step. Because once we get the meatballs, I'll put a few there and put a few right here. I'm going to show you guys one more thing. So normally for the show, I didn't have my blueberries on hand, so I did pick up some really nice premium wild blueberry jam. Now, a lot of people are thinking, what are you doing? We take this jam, a lot of times it's better if you heat it up, but you can apply a little bit of blueberry jam to the top of these meatballs. And you would not believe the flavor it just brings out the sage in it and the wild rice and everything like that. And it's very delicious. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, normally Jan would be doing this. I'm actually, you know what, I'm not really the cook here. I can make bread, but I can't. Jan's better at this stuff here. There.
You're doing fine.
Thank you, Jan. Yeah. Jan, you gonna sample it? Sample some of your meatballs here?
Yes. And I like the broken ones.
Yes.
I love the way the wild rice goes with the sage.
Incredible.
It's so perfect. And the blueberries, it just hits it. It's perfect.
Yeah, I gotta try some of this too because I mean you look like you're enjoying that way too much.
Good. Yeah, very good.
So here we are, some wild game moose meat meatballs and
Wild meat, wild rice,
and some wild blueberries.
and wild blueberries.
We have a wild meal here today. Wow. Oh my goodness.
That's why I was putting a little bit of water because I wanted it to. It was falling apart a little bit, and I wanted to steam it. And it's just perfect.
I wish you guys were here. This is incredible. Let's check on the bread. I'm gonna bring my tea over here. Oh my gosh, look at that. Guys, look at. You're thinking, what the heck? That is amazing. I know. You're welcome. So when you take the sand out of the bread, it's like holding a hot potato.
Quite done, or it's actually very, very close.
Yeah. So for the sake of the video, guys, we did have to cut short the bacon time. So, but you know what? Am I making excuses? Maybe. Yes. Probably. So, but we're gonna see. As you can see, it's right out of the hot sand.
So I'm gonna break it like this.
Whoa. Okay. So it's not all the way done through
No.
there.
Yeah. No. It needed. It's a shame. It needed another 3 minutes.
Yeah. But over here, look at this right here. Look at that. Yeah, that's all done right there, and you've got this delicious hot piping bread. Look at that. So, but anyway, demonstration. I guarantee you the bread turns out way better when you guys make it. So.
We can't blame it on anybody today, Tish.
What, should we be like eating it as well? Of course we should be.
Oh, of course.
Now, normally,
I'm putting it back in to finish it.
Oh, okay. So now, normally what we do is, once the bread is done, everybody cracks it open. You're probably wondering about the sand. So, because the sand is so hot, that when we first put the Luskinnigan in on the hot sand, it instantly sears the bread, and the bread becomes this hard paste, this hard shell. And so, once it's all cooked through, we break it open, and you're able to really dust that sand off the shell of it. It comes off very easily. So right here, as you can see, the cooked part of the bread, it's very delicious. So I can like scoop that right out of there and have a little bite. Oh wow. Okay, that is pretty tasty.
And so is the tea.
And so is the tea. Very delicious.
The tea's just like double mint gum. That's what it tastes like.
Double mint gum, better. It's
Yeah.
traditional, organic.
Urban native.
Yeah. Well, Jan, this has been great today. Thank you. And I hope you guys enjoyed your time with us. If you have any more questions, we'd be more than happy to answer. Well, I mean, you know, a quiet crowd usually means everything went well. So I just want to thank you all for being with us today. Jan, thank you for helping us cook some of those delicious meatballs. And yeah, and I guarantee you, when you come up here and make your own bread, we will have enough time to make sure it is complete. So, if you guys want to find out more information about what we do, and the activities, and when we're available, visit our website, www.metpark.ca. And you will find all our experience packages, which are available online. You'll find a little bit more history. You can send us an email if you have any questions, or send us inbox on the Facebook. So again, www.metpark.ca. Thank you, everyone.